Hello everyone, my name is Ananya Rajput and I'm a student of UPS Dehradun, and today I'm going to talk about right to die. Now, right to die is a concept which is based on the opinion that a human being is entitled to make any decision about ending his or her life, which also includes undergoing voluntarily euthanasia. Now, possession of this right is often understood to mean that a person with a terminal illness or without the will to continue living should be allowed to end their own life or to decline life prolonged treatment. The primarily question that arises is whether people should have that right to die and what may be the principle justifying such rights. Now, right to life is a basic natural right of human beings. Now, in India, it is a fundamental right which is guaranteed under Article 21 in our Indian Constitution, which says no person shall be deprived of his or her life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by the law. Now, this fundamental right confers an obligation on the state to ensure good quality of life, livelihood, liberty, and a dignified life to the people, both citizens and non-citizens. Now, the question that right to life can include within its ambit the right not to live or the right to die is one that has been debated in several cases. Now, death can be defined as the termination of life. Death can be categorized basically into two kinds. First is natural and second is unnatural death. It can be caused by the action as well as the inaction of the person, causing the extinction of a life unnaturally by the action of oneself over himself or over someone else who is morally bad as well as legally punishable. Now, every living being in this world wants to live a long life and by every possible means wants to increase the longevity of their lives, and promoting end of such life is not the intended result of this right. Now, several arguments for legalizing euthanasia have been put forward, including it is a way to end an extremely miserable and painful life, and existence to postpone the death against patient's wishes are against law, unwise and inhuman and not medically sound. Now, second, the family members of the dying patient are relieved from the physical, emotional, economical, and mental stress upon them. It also provides comfort to the patient and causes relief of his pain. Now, the patient also have a right to refuse medical treatment. If a doctor treats a patient against his express wishes, he can be charged with assault. Then, performance of euthanasia will free up the medical funds of the state to help other poor and needy people. An individual has the freedom to exercise his right to die. The Constitution guarantees the fundamental rights and freedom, where a positive right includes a negative right. For instance, person of freedom of speech includes within its freedom not to speak. Now, further argument which is against legalizing euthanasia, it says first, Indian society driven by religion, custom, notion will not accept the concept of euthanasia as the religious scriptures defy it. Commercializing of euthanasia can take place. The poor people could resort to this in order to avoid the pecuniary difficulties of medication. Old and destitute are sometimes considered a burden, and people can make use this to show off their responsibilities. Now, allowing euthanasia will devalue human dignity and will offend the principle of sanctity of life. It will leave sick, disabled people more vulnerable than the rest of the population and can also provide a cloak for murder. The sanctity of human life does not imply the forced continuation of existence in pain and suffering. Now, given that a person has a right to lead a dignified existence, he cannot be forced to live to his detriment. If a person suffers from an incurable disease, it would be inhuman to compel him to live a painful life. a terminally ill person should be permitted to terminate his pain and suffering by choosing to do so. Now, in fact, these are not cases of extinguishing life but only of accelerating the process of natural death, which has already commenced. The proposition merely is that the legalization must provide for an alternative if the terminally ill patient so desires, have complied with the requisite conditions to substitute his slow and painful death with a quick and painless one. Medical science is progressing in India as in the rest of the world, and hence currently we have techniques that can prolong life by artificial means. This may indirectly prolong terminal suffering and may also prove to be very costly for the families of the subject in question. Hence, end of life issues are becoming major ethical consideration in the modern day medical science in India. Allowing euthanasia exclusively in these cases of terminally ill patient is desirable. Thank you.